Day 7. We made it. This is the first official full week of the 29 Days of Love Challenge, y'all. We made it to day 7. And we can't end the full week, this last live, without our theme song. So if you've been rocking with us since day 1, then you know what our theme song is. Okay? Today is going to be a lot of fun. I'm super excited. I'm going to do, just because I don't want to rush, I believe we'll do a part 1 today and a part 2 tomorrow of Let's Talk About Love. We couldn't do this challenge. I'm trying to get the song going, guys, at the same time I'm talking to y'all. But we couldn't get this. We couldn't do this live without talking about God or using his word to talk about what love is and what it means, right? We're talking about the love challenge. I don't know about you guys, but my timeline is full of love and Valentine's Day and hearts and balloons and relationships and just cute stuff happening. Um, but none of that stuff don't mean nothing without God. Like, he is the creator of love. He is love. The essence of him. Everything that he is love. So I'm excited to get in, and I bear with me. I never thought I'd be doing a Bible study on here, but I go, if God tell me to do it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it scared. I'm gonna do it, with all that. I'm gonna do it. I'm not really scared. I'm probably more so nervous. Okay. Um, so I'm gonna let this song play, our intro. The song has ended, y'all. Go and join the live stream right now on YouTube. Yeah, thank you. How are you, the family? Everybody's good. Everybody's good. I'm actually gonna call Mario later because I want to know. We got to follow up about the last conversation we had. Okay, so I'm gonna get off here, you guys. Join me on YouTube. I'll see you guys later. Show me something. You are my everything. Oh, sorry, y'all. I started. That's the thing. Once you get on social media, it's hard to whatever. So anyhow. Y'all, I ended up seeing my family on there. I didn't even know she was following me. My cousin's wife. It's such a small world. All right, so today's stream, we're gonna get into it. I need to make sure I'm hydrated. We're gonna be talking about love. And I'm excited to talk about this because it's a conversation that's happening right now. Like, it's all around you, whether you want to hear about it, whether you know about it, whether you know God. Love is being portrayed as being put out there as something, and it's not always what God intended, but it's something. So I think it's only right for us to start with, like, what is love? And as I've gotten closer to God and grown in my relationship with God, 1 Corinthians, I wrote it down, 1 Corinthians 13 verse 4 is a perfect example of what is love. So we're going to go to that first. I got my good handy dandy Bible. Okay, so we're going to go to that. 1 Corinthians 13. 1 Corinthians 13. Okay, so love is indispensable. And I'm going to be going back and forth into my Blue Letter Bible app. If you don't have that, that is a really good source to just read the word and understand it. Like, you can look up the Hebrew or Greek meaning of these words, like the biblical meaning of some of these words, because sometimes it's not enough just to, you know what I mean? Like, it's not enough to just kind of read it. Like, it's great to dive in. Hey, welcome to the live stream today. We are talking about love, okay? And right now, whether you want to hear it or not, love is all around us. You go to the store, you're seeing hearts, you're seeing posts on Instagram of hauls, what to wear, Valentine's Day event, relationships, read everything. It's just happening right now. But not everything that is being portrayed is God. So we want to get into the real definition, the real meaning of love, because without God is really not it. So we have I'm gonna be going back and forth from the King James version to the Amplified. I think my Bible was actually the Amplified version. So we're gonna start. Um, what am I doing wrong? Okay. All right. So we're in 1 Corinthians. If you want to follow along, hey, you can follow along. 1 Corinthians 13, verse 4. Okay. So I'm going to read the Amplified version first, and then we'll go into the Old English and we'll kind of dive in. Okay. So it says in 1 Corinthians 13, verse 4, and a lot of us probably have heard this at weddings, but this is real tea. This is real life. So love is patience. And in love, you can always replace it with God, because that's who God is. So love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. So just before we just keep going and reading, think about patience. A lot of people don't have patience, especially I feel like after COVID, like driving wise, people don't have patience on the road. You know what I mean? Patience takes, humility. It takes an awareness that it's not easy to tap into. Think about a mother with her children, and you tell the child the same thing every day, every day, every day. You have to have patience to raise children. You have to have patience. They're not moving as fast as adults do, right? So when I hear like love is patience, I already know off the rip like that is something that's going to take you decreasing and allowing something else to come up, right? It can't be about you if you're being patient, right? You're waiting on something, you're waiting on someone. So it's saying love is patient, love is kind. Not when you feel like it, be kind. Like that's what love is in its core. It can't be unkind. It can't be mean. It can't be harmful. Love is kind. And we're going to get into the actual biblical meanings of these words, okay? It does not envy, it does not boast. It is not proud. So if you remember on the day 2 of our challenge conversation with friends, we talked about, friendships, and when you have a friend who is envious of you, it's not it. You know what I mean? It's not it. We consider that a red flag when we're talking about red flags and someone being envious of you. And this is just confirmation of that. It does not envy. So love is not envious. You're not envious of other people when you have love inside of you, when you're moving in love, right? And it does not boast. So even if you have it all going on, even if you that girl, whatever, you don't boast. Like you don't I'm going to give y'all the meaning of these words in a second, okay? It is not proud. And when it says it's not proud, it's not like don't be proud of yourself if you accomplish it. It's more so like don't be prideful, I feel like, in that sense. Again, we're going to go through the real definitions of it. It says it does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angry. So we all know there's certain things that get on our skin that make us, okay, we fall short when it comes to love. I know that for sure. I know I do for sure. I mean, it keeps no record of wrong. That part right there, like when somebody do something to you, you just forget it. You let it go. I feel like my niece is good in that. She'll forgive you right away and act as if nothing ever happened when you apologize to her. And that's what I love about my niece. She has that. So keeps record of no wrong. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects. Think about God. He's always protecting us, right? Always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. So now we're going to go into this is a Blue Letter Bible app. Download this on your phone and use it. It's really, really good. So right now I'm in 1 Corinthians 4. Okay. So the KJV version, which is the King James version, says, charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity. So I learned today that charity means agape. You ever hear somebody say agape love or unconditional love? That's what charity means. Did you guys know that? Yes, that's why I love this Bible app, because it tells you the meanings of the words, and then it gets deeper. It makes you understand what's being said. So it says charity suffers long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaineth not itself. It is not puffed up. Okay, so okay, that's old English, okay, y'all. So let's get into it. So I told you earlier that charity means, I'm just gonna give you guys
Strong's G26 agape.
So it's not
agape.
We say agape, but it's agape. That's how you say it. It even tell you how to say the words. Agape, which means affection, goodwill, love, brotherly love, charity, dear, feast of charities. It goes into detail, right? And I never knew that charity meant that. I always just thought charity, I know charity, giving charity, but it means giving love, showing love. And like this month is all about love. So I could have called this charity, 29 days of charity challenge. Yeah, I could have called it that because that's what love is. Okay, let's go back. Okay. When it says suffered long, so in the Amplified, it said love is patience. This one says suffers long. And it says to be of a long spirit, to not lose heart, to persevere patiently, bravely in enduring misfortunes and troubles. Yo, this is not what people talk about when they talk about love. I feel like every time I see something on social media about love and relationship, everybody's always saying run for the hills, red flag, leave, just leave. But here, the biblical meaning of love is to be of a long spirit, to not lose heart, to not give up on someone, right? To persevere patiently and bravely in enduring misfortunes and troubles. I feel like God is like telling us there will be misfortunes and troubles. There will be disappointment when you're dealing with people, when you're going to love people, love on people, period. When you're going to love, but you're supposed to endure patiently. Y'all, this is good. Slow to punish. Y'all, this is literally the complete opposite of cancel culture. Cancel culture tells you, the minute something comes out in the news, oh, cancel this person. That's it. They're canceled, they're canceled, they're canceled. But love and who God is in love and calls us to be, and the love that we should be celebrating this month in February is giving grace. It's slow to punish. And it says slow to anger. That's another definition. Slow to anger. Get this app, y'all. I'm telling you, because it opened my eyes to scripture, even because when I was reading it, I said love is patient, right? And we're talking about patience. And like, okay, I could be patient. I could be patient and wait for my food to heat up. I could be patient and wait for, another car to go on the road. But this patience that God is talking about he's literally telling you, for troubles and misfortunes, you need, this is when I can see whether you love or not when everything is like everything is perfect, not when everything is squeaky clean and you're getting, love notes and cards. And no, what are you doing when things get hard? Are you still able to love? Because in those moments, that's what love is. Ciao. Okay, let's keep going. And okay, let's go. So then the next part, love is kind. So I feel like we all know what kind is, right? It's to show oneself mild, to be kind, use kindness. We know what kindness is, y'all. We know when somebody's being kind and when somebody's being mean. Okay. Then we talked about envy, right? And it said that charity is not envious, which is just Love is not envy, okay? We know that charity means love now. So envy is to be heated or to boil with envy, hatred, or anger. Um, to desire one earnestly, to desire after, okay? Busy oneself about him. This is about somebody else. You're busying yourself. You're allowing yourself to be angry or hatred towards that person or longing for what they have, right? A desire to earnestly pursue what this person has. It's not good. It's not love. Okay. So I know we can tend to be on social media and be scrolling and compare, like, oh my goodness, when is this going to be for me? I need this car or this and stuff. That is a form. When you're comparing your life to somebody else's, it is a form of envy. Even if you don't, in your heart, you're like, I'm not going to do nothing to this person. This is what the book say. Okay. This is what the book say. Okay. And let me see if it says anything else that stuck out. Okay. It talks about, to have warm feelings or against, for or against. So this is like if the Bible talks about how God is jealous over us. It's not the same as the one that we were talking about, that definition. So I don't want to confuse it, so I'm not going to go into that one. Okay. Charity not valid itself. So what did we say? This one says it does not boast. So this is the one where it says it doesn't valid itself. To boast oneself, a self-display, employing embellishments. I don't know. I don't get what you're talking about, but okay. Okay, to boast in oneself, we kind of get that. That is self-explanatory right there. Okay. And it's not puffed up. So we'll look up what puffed up is. To cause a thing to pass in nature, to inflate, to blow up, to cause to swell up, to puff, to make proud. Okay, to be lofty. Yeah, it's very similar to boasting. I like the reading these definitions because it makes me just start thinking about the words in a deeper way, right? Okay. The next part we looked at was verse 5. It does not dishonor others. Think about all the situations you've been in where either you were doing the dishonoring or somebody was dishonoring you. And we're going to get into that. What does that mean? What does that mean biblically? What is the biblical meaning of that? Does not behave itself unseemly, seeketh not her own, is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil. So let's go into this, okay? Y'all, I wasn't born in the times when this old English thing was happening, so bear with me. All right. I'm going to try to read. Let's see. Easily provoked. Okay, we'll go into that. To irritate, provoke, arouse to anger, to scorn, despise, make angry, exasperate, to burn with anger. How many people get on our nerves and this is exactly what we do? This is what we do. This is our response. And I'm not saying this to make you guys feel bad about yourselves or feel like, dang, I guess I ain't got nothing to do with love then. No, because the most important thing to know is that God is love. And then when you walk with him, you become more like him, and then you can have and do some of these things. But we're always going to fall short. We're always going to fall short of these amazing things. The way to uphold love, especially in today's society. But when you have God in you and he's walking in you and the spirit is in you, it can empower you to be this, right? It can empower you to walk in this. It can empower you to cultivate and change into this, to be more like this, versus how you were before you knew God. So, all right. I don't want to stay here, so we're going to move on. But 1 Corinthians 13, that's a lot of what people read during their weddings because it's about love, right? It's about love. So this is how I knew that this week I was going to be doing a Bible study, because I was reading Ecclesiastes 4, verse 9 and 12. So go to that. And there's a lot of wisdom, I feel like, in that, in this in Ecclesiastes 4. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm just trying to find it in my Bible so I can read it. How's everyone doing? Hey, who's in here with me? Drop something in the chat. Are you enjoying this? I hope you are, because I'm excited. I always get excited about the word, especially when I can come to know something that I didn't know before. And it's always like that when I'm reading it. Okay. So this part is juicy. Okay. We already know 2 is better than 1. We know that. We know marriage is a beautiful thing when 2 people come together and it's really God in it. It's beautiful to see. We love weddings. We love celebration of love. We love Valentine's Day. I don't know about y'all, but I love it. And I love love. So this is chapter 4, verse 9 through 12. 2 are better than 1. Period. Okay? Because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them. I mean, we live in a day and age where people feel like they don't need people, and that's not true, guys. We are formed to be in companionship. Love is not only just in relationships as far as husband and wife and all those things. Love is in friendships. Love is in community. Love is in life. It's all around us. So I love this because it's saying 2 are better than 1, and it's giving an example of like you falling. And it's not saying you can't get up by yourself, but it says pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them. Verse 11. Also, if 2 lie down together, if 2 lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? I read this part and I was like, oh, so you try to say, yeah, I see what you did there, God. I see what you did there. And I definitely agree with that. Okay. Though one may be overpowered, 2 can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. Amazing. And then I'm going to read this last part here because it ties into the verse. And my Bible has like little messages when you read certain verses. So it says, the value of companionship and friendship is the focus of these verses, right? The selfish individual works in competition with others. We just talked about that, envy and jealousy, okay? The selfish individual works in competition with others. You're always competing with others. You're comparing yourself, right? It's hard for you to give people compliments. He misses the reward of cooperation. So there's a reward when you can come in agreement with another person. God himself realized that it was good for us. God himself realized it was not good for us to be alone. That's Genesis 2:18. Let's just go to that for reference. When somebody tells you something about the Bible and being in a certain place, you should always cross-reference. You should always go and read it for yourself and try to seek understanding for yourself. Because I could tell you, go to Matthew 5 right now and make up a verse. If you don't go check, how you gonna know? Okay, so it's saying that God said it's not good for man to be alone. So we're going to go to Genesis 2, verse 18. And the Lord said, it is not good for man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him. So this is the story of Adam and Eve. And this is in fact correct. God did say it's not good for man to be alone. So there's proof in the pudding, y'all. As we're celebrating love, think about the friends, the community, the environments, the people that you have in your life. And if you don't have them, that's fine too. You need to begin to pray and ask God to bring suitable helpers, his helpers for you. You don't just want anybody because, child, it can get real ghetto real fast. Okay. God himself said it was not good for us to be alone. He made provision from the beginning for our needs of companionship and fellowship with others. So it's another form of love, right? Friendship is a form of love. I don't know if you know about y'all, but sometimes I get around my friends and we're just laughing, having a great time. You guys have seen some of the videos on the series. I've been grateful to have brought my friends on here. And every time I bring them on here, you can just see the love. You can just see the fellowship, and I appreciate them. And it makes sense to have them on here with me, because that's just a form of love. Like, this challenge wouldn't be this challenge without y'all, without you showing your face up every day, being here with me, listening to the word, even in this moment as I'm sharing what God is allowing me to know and read with you. This is a form of love, right? Right? It's not just about me and what I know, because I got this word already this morning when I was praying, and God was like, "You're gonna do a Bible study and you're gonna share the things I told you." So don't let nobody tell you that, you know, you don't need a man, or you don't need friends, you don't need, no, that's a lie. You do. You need people. You need companionship. You need fellowship. That's what you were created. We all have a desire to be loved and to love. So just be that, okay? So that was the oh yeah, I wanted to read this part about loneliness. Okay, I'm going to read this part about loneliness. Before God created Eve, he told Adam, "It is not good for man to be alone." That's what we just read, right? You need to you need good positive people. Yes, exactly. Lori's here with me. Hey. Okay. So before God created Eve, he told Adam it's not good for man to be alone. Though not actually alone, for the animals were there. Adam was incomplete without human companionship. You hear that? Even though he had everything, he had the garden, he had all these things, but without human companionship, he was incomplete. Central to God's purpose for his people are relationships with him and others. Outside of fellowship is loneliness, a sense of isolation, as Adam and Eve were to discover when they disobeyed God. Loneliness, the result of broken relationships, is not the same as aloneness. I love this example. Loneliness is the result of broken relationships, is not the same as aloneness. In order to have a deeply intimate relationship with Christ, we must withdraw periodically from human companionship in order to meet with him. Such aloneness with Christ is a desirable, quite different from the pain of loneliness. We are never truly alone because our friend Jesus experienced aloneness when he was tempted in the wilderness, when he traveled, and when his disciples forsook him. However, he was only lonely once when on the cross made sin. He was made sin for us. So I love that. So there is a difference between alone. I'm saying it wrong. Am I saying it right? Yes. Aloneness and loneliness. And we're never alone. And I love that. I feel like that part was very comforting when I was reading it earlier. But the next verse that talks about a form of love is Jeremiah. If I could find it, child. Okay, Jeremiah 29, verse 11. And I feel like this is a popular one. Everybody kind of knows this verse. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. Okay. So this is why I feel like I was led to say that this is a verse about love, because love is not, someone who loves you is not going to go out their way to harm you. They're not going to purposely harm you, right? They're not going to purposely put you in a position to be hurt, right? So God in this verse, and it's crazy because he doesn't have to explain this. Like, God doesn't have to tell us these things. He doesn't have to explain himself, but he does in this instance. And he says, I know the plans I have for you. And he's reminding us, because as humans, sometimes our mind shifts, wanders, and we begin to feel like, especially when we're at our lowest, like, does God even see me? Does God even know me? Does God even care for me? And the truth is, he says, I know the plans I have for you, right? And it's God declaring it. It's the same way that he said in the beginning in Genesis, let there be light, and there was light. He didn't have to, you notice in a lot of movies, right? When we're watching heroes and Marvel movies, these superheroes always have power, but it's like they have a ring, right? What's that guy's name that had all the rings in the Marvel movie? Y'all know what I'm talking about, Avengers. Or they have like something outside of themselves that gives them this power. But God himself is powerful, and his word is just enough. So when he says, let there be light, there was light. The sun and the moon till this day. It doesn't need, you don't have to reset it. It doesn't lose battery. It doesn't need recharge. Because he said it is going to do whatever he said. And in this instance, Jeremiah 29 verse 11, he's saying, I know the plans I have for you. I have an awareness. I see what you're going through. I see maybe it looks difficult. Maybe it looks like I'm not there, but I know the plans I have for you. And he's reminding us, not only do I know it, but I'm telling you that it's a plan to prosper you. And the plan to prosper you, we're going to go look at it in the Blue Letter Version Bible, and I'm going to show you what that means and like the biblical definition of these words. Where is it? Jeremiah 29 verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Okay, so let's look at the word. For I know the thoughts I have for, say the Lord, thoughts of peace. So in this version, it's peace, right? Peace is the form of is prosperous. So my amplified version is different from the KJV. So peace is completeness, soundness, welfare. Okay, safety, soundness, welfare, health. Come on, y'all, health. Let's be for real. You can have all these things in the world. Like, let's say tomorrow you hit the lottery. If you are on your last dying breath, that stuff don't matter. If I told you, okay, give me that million and you'll be able to live, you would obviously choose to live, right? Because the money is of no use if you don't have your health. Health is so important. So in this, when God is telling you he has a plan to prosper you, he has a plan for good health. He has a plan for peace. A lot of people wake up and the first thing on their mind is they got a lot of stuff going on. You know what I mean? Like they just got a whole lot going on and they don't know what peace is. They don't know what stillness is. To have peace. Peace is something that is an inner thing that despite what's going on you have an understanding. And there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. I've come to know peace in certain situations. I'm like, dang, this is what peace is. I'll take this any day. Okay. I'll take this any day. So then it says peace means in this verse, when he says, I have a plan to prosper you or plan for peace for you, it says friendship. We just talked about, yes, I agree. Yes, Lori's here with me. Okay. We just talked about friendship. We just talked about how God created us to be in companionship. And this plan for prosperity is a friendship, right? A friendship with him and also friendship with others, having a community, people that can love on you, people you can trust. Because we also read in 1 Corinthians 13 that love does not dishonor. So maybe you've been in friendships or relationships that, there was no honor there and they treated you any old kind of way. Well, that was not love. And the love that God is talking about and the plan that he has to prosper you is of good friendship. Okay. So that is Jeremiah 29 verse 11. So plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Now let's see what this version says. What does that mean? Not to harm. Let's go in here. Okay. So in the KJV version, which is King James, Old English, is God doesn't have a plan of evil for you. So what does that mean? That just means we know what evil is. Bad, disagreeable, unpleasant, displeasing, worse than, sad, unhappy, unkind, evil, wicked. Oh, child, this is distress, adversity, injury, wrong, misery. Child, some of these words remind me of some people that really are miserable, like in real life, like they just evil. Okay, so let's see. Grievance, harm, trouble, wickedness, mischief, hurt. So A lot of us have gone through some of these things. These words can be bringing up memories or moments or times for us. And those plans that happened in our lives were not from God. Why am I saying that? Why am I so confident in that? Because he just said, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, not for evil." But these things are happening. How is this making sense, God? You're telling me that this is the plan you have for me, but these things are happening. And the reason why they're happening is not because of God, but because of our own decisions, because of the enemy and the plans that he has. Just like God has a plan, the enemy has a plan for you too. And that's the reason why it's so important to get close to God. It's so important to just lean on him, trust in him, and find him and seek him, because you have an advantage point. Then you can start to use tools, because he all throughout this book, he's giving you tools and strategy to conquer the enemy, right? I feel like a lot of people who like are quote unquote Christians, sometimes they just sit in the complacency. These things happen to them, things that are evil, things that are wicked. They get an evil report from the doctor and then they accept it, right? And they become the victim. But the Bible I'm reading here tells me that I'm a victor, right? And if a doctor is telling me a report, I have a power inside of me that I don't have to accept that report. And I need to begin to give a different report, right? And go to my father about it. So this is just such a powerful verse. I feel like sometimes people just, they love it. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you. Everybody wants prosperity, but there's deeper meaning in the word, right? We got to figure out, okay, well, if God's saying not to harm me, then what's going on here? What am I missing? What's the missing piece here, right? But this is a declaration of his love. So if you are in a situation where you're being harmed of any sort, any of these words sound like it, that is not love, and you need to go. Okay, you need to pack your bags and go, because it's not love. Okay. And then he says a hope for a future. I think in any dynamic with love, like I think of love, the love I have for my job and my business and working with women, right? There's a hope in a future for that. Because I love it, I'm hopeful that things are going to turn and things will begin to happen and it will grow, right? And also not just for right now, but for the future. I feel like that just ties in together. When you love something, think about marriage. When two people first meet and there's a hope there, right? There's a desire. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I'm in love with you, all this stuff, right? There's a hope there. And the future is that we can build a family, that we can grow together, that we can do life together, that we can grow old and be in a forever love. So that's Jeremiah 29, verse 11, that's love. Okay. If you want to take a deeper dive, spend time in that verse and hear what God has to say for you. And then this is the last one, Proverbs. Let me know if I'm talking too fast, y'all. Sometimes I get excited and I just start talking and I'm like, oh yeah, people are listening. Okay, so this one, Proverbs 27, verse 9. I hope I got this one right. Proverbs 27. Yeah, and this year I've been like intentional too about like making sure I'm praying, like asking God to send like people in my life that are supposed to be in my life, like not just friendships, just to feel good, to fill space. Because sometimes we just want to fill a void, right? We feel like something is missing, so we're like, okay, let me just fill it with this person, but the person may not be God's purpose for your life. They may not be in alignment with his will. So my prayer, I've been praying that and being so intentional. And when I tell you, people have been shifting and moving and going into different categories in my life, and I haven't even done anything. I haven't called anybody and say, hey girl, we can't, it's like they're just moving themselves. And I know it's God's hand because I'm praying it and I'm believing him for it. So the next one, Proverbs 27. Proverbs 27. I'm so glad it's Wednesday. We're getting through the week, guys. We're making it. It's been a great week. Next week is my birthday. Yeah. I feel like every day this month is my birthday, but next week is really my birthday, the day I was born. Okay, so 27 verse 9, it says, perfume and incense bring joy to the heart. Who doesn't love somebody who smells good? I know I do. Like if you have a perfume that smells sweet, oh my goodness, I can smell it from a far away distance, child. So it says perfume and incense bring joy to the heart. It does, it really does. And the pleasantness of a friend, I love this, springs from their heartfelt advice. Hello, sorry, an emergency came up at the Y. Oh, girl, it's okay, Martine. It's okay. You could catch the replay. We're just talking about this is only part one of two because I didn't want to rush. I didn't want to rush. We're talking about the real definition of love, like God being love. And we're in a month of love. We're seeing all these social media ads and Instagram and all these things. We're seeing all these things about love, but that stuff, it doesn't mean anything without God. So we're on verse, right now we're talking about friendships, and it's on Proverbs 27, verse 9. But I appreciate you coming and making it. I hope everything is okay. So it says, perfume and incense bring joy to the heart, and plentiness of a friend springs from their heartfelt advice. So nowadays, I don't know about y'all, but I feel like a lot of people don't like accountability or friends. They don't, they don't want to hear the truth. They want somebody who's going to kind of like tell them what they want to hear. And that's not for me. I feel like based off this Bible verse, that's not true friendship when you're just kind of like doing what they say or doing what makes them feel good. I'm going to read this in the KJV version. It says, perfume rejoices the heart. So doeth the sweetness of a man's friend. So do it. So that's saying like the same as the sweetness of a man's friend by hearty counsel. So you want someone in your life who's going to be able to give you the real. Like my personal trainer, she is tough. Like she's a tough cookie. If you are like she just doesn't play. And that's what I love about her. She does not play. And because she does not play, I have to take her serious, but I also have to take myself seriously. I remember at a point when I was working out and I was showing up, but I wasn't showing up. And then I was showing up and I wasn't showing up. And she was like, you know what? I've been texting you and holding you accountable, but she's like, you got to want it for yourself. Like she really went in on me. And at the time, I couldn't receive it because I felt as though, like, who do you think you are? Like, I had personal trainers in the past, and if you fall off, you fall off. They're not going to be, up in arms about it. But she was, and to this day, I respect her. I honor her. At the time, I did not. I was just like, who do you think you are? Like talking like this, whatever. But thank God for change. And I realized that she actually cares about my health, and she actually wants to see me be better. She wants to see me feel good. She wants to see me at my best. And that means showing up even when I don't feel like it. That means showing up even when I'm a little tired. That means showing up and being accountable, not just to her, because what's it to her if I stop showing up? It's really about me and the results I want to see. If I say I want to be healthy, if I say I want to live a long life, if I say I want to, I have this goal or whatever, then how am I showing up? And that's what friendship is. I think if your girlfriend is telling you, like, I want to be in a healthy relationship, I don't want to deal with the same person no more, and then they keep doing it, you have to give them wise counsel. You can't just give up and then think like, whatever. And if she can't take that advice, then it's not a friendship. It's not a friendship because the friendship is literally supposed to be iron sharpening iron. There's a verse that talks about that. So the friendships in your life, the communities in your life, the mentors, right? That my fitness coach is not my friend, but she is a mentor, right? She's coaching me in my health, and her counsel is sweetness for me because it made me realize, it made me up the ante and have to change, right? If I was going to stay and take accountability. So this was part one of this conversation about love. I think it's an important conversation. I think we have to continue to have this conversation. I may have some guests tomorrow, so definitely tap in and subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget that end of this month, we're doing our virtual prayer board event. We did it in Boston at Boston Restaurant Bar and Grill. It was amazing turnout, but I feel led to do something virtually for you guys. I also have all the items. If you're looking like, okay, well, what do I need for this? All the items are on my Amazon storefront. You can get your tickets in RSAP on Eventbrite. And tomorrow we're doing live stream early. Thursday's live stream is going to be at 6:15. Okay, so it's okay. You can catch the replay if that's too early for you. It will be done by the time 7:30 comes, but it will be up. I'll make sure it's up, obviously, because all these live streams are up. But tomorrow's stream is going to be at 6:15. So join me at 6:15 for part 2 of this conversation about let's talk about love. And if you guys have any questions or any topics that you want to talk about that you want to kind of dive into and want to get a biblical understanding of what it is, definitely shoot me an email or DM and we can talk about that tomorrow. So guys, this is it. Day 7. It's been fun. It's been real. And I can't wait for day 8. I can't wait. Thank you for joining me. I will see you guys tomorrow at 6:15 for day 8. All right, guys. Bye.